Hello, thank you for joining us. My name is Courtney Gibson. I'm Chief Technology Officer at BioConnect, and I'm here today to talk to you about risk management of physical access cards, understanding where risks come from and what you can do to mitigate them. BioConnect has been working for the last 10 years to create solutions across physical and digital access. We've been building technology for physical access control at doors and server rooms, for digital applications, and unified physical and digital access. This allows us to create solutions that protect you, your place of business, your people, and the work they produce. This also has given us insight into the problems in physical access control that digital solutions can bring to the table to reduce risk and increase security easily and effectively. Some of you may have recently seen a video that we produced showing the problem of key fob duplication, how easy it is, and the risks that it can present to your enterprise.
Hi, my name is Stephen Heather, and I'm a Strategic Account Manager here at BioConnect. So today we'll be taking a closer look at one of the most common aspects in physical security in any building today, the key fob, and just how easy it is to spoof. Fobs are an approximated identity for any one employee or anyone trying to gain access to a building. This is a system that uses a simple numerical value for any one person and attributes it to a key fob, which means if we're able to duplicate a key fob, then anyone with that duplicate key can gain access to a building. Now, these are very common because it's simple, cost-effective, and easy to use. There are ways in which you can fortify the process through some kind of step-up or mobile authenticator. So today we'll be analyzing how easy it is to actually go out and get somebody to duplicate one of these fobs for you. We anticipate that this will be a simple Google search, a small fee, and a little bit of time in order to do it. Okay, so I found this place on Google, 5-minute drive from the office. I'm gonna go in there and see if I can't get this fob duplicated, see how much it is, see how long it takes. Got one, got two. Let's go see if it works. So first, I'm gonna try the original. Works as expected. And here's the duplicated fob and the moment of truth. No way. It actually worked. I don't know why, but I was skeptical about whether or not it would work. It was just such a fast and cheap process. So off the bat, I talked about a way in which that we fortify this solution. What we do is we enable any enterprise to take this current solution and apply an additional layer of security by using mobile authenticators for an additional step up. Let's check it out. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you exactly how we use the mobile authenticator to force a step up at the time you pass the fob. Okay, so in summary, like we just saw, I had my original card. I easily found a place to spoof this. So the overall process was to go online, do a quick Google search. We found about 5-6 different places that would actually offer the service to duplicate my existing key fob. We just picked the closest one. It was about 5 minutes away from the office. And I went in there. The process was very simple, walked up to the individual, no questions asked. They had the process done in about 5-10 minutes. And all in all, it cost about $30 plus gas money. 5 minutes, not much. So what we've proved today is that this solution, albeit extremely common in the marketplace today, is not very secure.
We've received a lot of questions about this, and the purpose of my talk today is to dig into some of those questions, outline where the risks come from, what the solutions are, and what you can do to better protect your business. I'd like to talk about 3 things. I'd like to start by talking about understanding access cards, how they work, what the technology is, and why there are some problems with it today. I want to talk about insider threats, things that you need to worry about from employees inside your corporation that may compromise the security of you, your people, and your places. I also want to talk about external threats, where some of these risks can come from people outside of your organization, and the things that you need to be concerned about. Let's start with the card. This is a transaction that we're familiar with. Many of us do this many times a day. We walk up to a door, tap a card, and walk in. How does that technology work? And where are some of the risks behind it? For most traditional cards, this is the transaction. The reader sends energy to the card, and the card responds back with a card number. Contains a user number and a facility code, but at the end of the day, it's just a number. And often, that number is printed on the card itself. This number comes back to the reader, and the reader simply sends this number through to the access control system. When that number arrives, you're recognized as a user, and the door opens. There's a number of problems with this system that are unexpected to people who are used to dealing with digital security systems. Specifically, there's no cryptography involved in this exchange. The card number is printed on the card. That same plain card number is sent over the air to the reader and on to the access control system. There's no cryptography. There's no expiry inside the card. There's no authentication of the reader. The card doesn't know whether this is a valid reader. And there's no authentication of the card. The reader doesn't know if this is a valid card. There's no replay protection. If I capture this signal and play the same signal back again, even if the card isn't there, the door very likely will still open. There's no tamper protection on the signal itself, and the card numbers are predictable. These are all things that digital solutions have provided solutions for decades, and we were here to introduce this into these systems and explain how they can work for you. There's a number of specific risks that those shortcomings present. One is that you need to be concerned about your cards, and I'm going to talk about that and what that means. There's some risk in the card number itself, and there's some risk in the protocols that live beyond the reader. I'm going to break these down into insider threats and external threats and talk about how you need to think about these and how some solutions can provide you with some assistance. Specifically, you need to worry about card loss, cards being dropped in the parking lot, picked up, and someone coming in later at night to walk through your door. You need to worry about cards being intentionally duplicated, cards being forged, and potentially the wiring behind your reader being compromised as well. All of these things can undermine the security that you're trying to provide to your building and your people. Let's start by talking about insider threats and card duplication. In our video, we showed how easy it was to walk up to a kiosk. These are available now in variety stores. Tap your fob and make a duplicate of that card. Your employee then has access to two cards, the one you issued them and the copy that they've created. This machine also retains a copy of the card. Someone can walk up later and request another duplicate and another, and have multiple cards that all give them access to your facility. When that employee leaves and you collect their credential, are you collecting all of their credentials or just simply the one that you originally gave them? This ability to duplicate cards, though, is just really the tip of the iceberg. There's a risk that someone might copy a card that you gave them. There's also, though, a larger risk from external threats around forged cards. Not just simply someone walking up and intentionally copying their own, but someone outside your organization or an employee working with a card that belongs to another employee to create an unauthorized copy of that card that the original card holder doesn't even know exists. And this can come about in a few different ways. As I mentioned earlier, the cards themselves have numbers just printed on the outside of them. As an external actor, I may simply take a picture of a badge holder and get your card number that way. But with equipment that's easily purchased online, there's larger risks as well, because this card number that's printed on your card is also simply sent over the air. And it could be as easy as the person next to you on the elevator bumping into your pocket. These readers are small, They're battery powered, and they can read cards at a reasonable distance. Once I'm able to capture the number from your card, I can use this same device, similar to the kiosks and variety stores, to then duplicate these cards. And whether it's a programmable card or a programmable key fob, these duplicates can take on the card number and emulate your real cards to your readers. There's no authentication of the cards, and there's no authentication of the readers. And this means that someone from outside your organization can look like someone who's inside your organization. But there's a bigger risk than that. These card numbers are typically provisioned to companies in a box of cards from the factory, where the numbers themselves are sequential. You take cards out, distribute them to staff, and you end up with identities that are very similar walking around inside your organization. Whether I'm a former employee who knows my old card number, or I'm an external threat who's found one card number, I can simply add and subtract values. And if my card number is 950,003, if I simply add and subtract values, there's a very good chance that I will find card numbers that belong to other employees. Either employees in other areas of the company. This may give me access to parts of the organization that I shouldn't have access to, or employees who still work at the company if my card has been deactivated. This presents a tremendous risk. Even if one credential is lost and deactivated, it can still live on as an identity that can be exploited inside your organization. So what solutions exist? There are a number of solutions that in the past have attempted to address this problem. And for how they work, there are some good solutions, but they have problems in terms of large-scale deployment. There are more secure card formats that are available, but this comes at a cost, and in particular comes at a cost of deploying new credentials to every one of your users. There are solutions available at the readers. There are pin pads and biometric readers that can verify the user at each of the doors, but these come at an expense of replacing the equipment at all of the doors that you need to provide security. And often, this changes the protocol, it could change the wiring, change the panel configuration, and there's a tremendous expense in providing new solutions to your users, providing new solutions at the door, and potentially wiring these solutions up within your building. BioConnect has created a solution that takes the credentials the technologies that you are using today and the credentials that your users already have and brings them together. This video, you can see Mitchell tap a card on a traditional reader and then he starts to use his phone. What's happening here is that our system, a very easy installation behind the reader, takes the traditional card access tap and reaches out to a technology that your users already have on their phones today to validate who they are and whether they should be going through this door. It's as simple as a tap, an acceptance, and the door opens. What's happening behind the scenes is that our technology, easy connection into the panels and readers that you have today, connects either to BioConnect's biometric application on the phone to positively identify your users using device biometrics, or it connects up to one of the technologies that you're using, whether it's Duo, Okta, Ping, any of these technologies that you have today, likely to secure your VPNs and firewalls and desktop access. These same technologies can be used to secure your doors, to know positively who is coming in and where. What this means is a real shift to how access is provisioned. These cards, which can be so easily duplicated, become your username instead of your username and your password. When you tap a card, it's simply the start of the process of authenticating yourself at the door. Your mobile phone completes this by becoming the password, and BioConnect combines these two together to present unified mobile authentication. The username and the password are the thing that lets you through the door. And if one is easily copied, the other is there to ensure that you have a level of security to prevent employees from becoming other employees in the company, to prevent strangers from authenticating in through your doors, and to prevent copies of cards from being distributed unknowingly. Here at BioConnect, we have been working for years in physical access control and digital access control to provide strong authentication solutions for your users. Come to our website, check us out. Thank you for tuning in.
For more information, visit our website at bioconnect.com.